and then everyone started talking about crypto. It started to get mainstream. And so I was like, what's next? Like, I was like, okay, what's next? And then, because I always think there's innovation every 5 years. There's always something new. Like, you never miss the boat. I tell people always, because some people tell me, man, I miss crypto. I missed this and that. And I'm like, like, it's all about where your mindset is at the time. There's always opportunity. There's always another IPO. There's always a new thing coming. There's always money flowing in a different space. There's always innovation. There's like, what you don't know is the thing. Like, you don't even know what the next innovation is. It doesn't exist in your head anymore right now. Did you even know what NFT was 2 years ago? Did you even think it could exist?
Hey, Wealth fam, this is Victor Benleys from Wealthy Evolutions, and you're listening to the Wealthy Perspectives Podcast, the platform where top-tier leaders who care show up to pass on their flames of knowledge that they've mastered, dropping gems along the way of their very own wealthy perspectives. Today, we're talking about a Web3 journey with Amit Dhun. Amit Dhun is a business owner, has been in crypto for about 5 years, and is now setting a stronghold in the NFT space. We'll discuss many things you need to know about crypto, Web3, and NFTs. Thank you for joining us, Amit Dhun.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your welcome. Really excited to be on this podcast, see what juice flows out in this, in this hour or so.
Oh, we are too, for sure. So up top, we have Matt Valencia, our co-host, and let's just jump right into it. Amit, so usually we like to start with the 5 W's, the who, what, where, when, and why. So give us who you are, what you do, where you come from, and how you do it. And then at the very end, give us your definition of wealth.
Yeah, so I'm from London, born and raised in the UK. I was lucky in some way. My dad was business savvy. So my dad, well, he ended up, he started from Mauritius. He came to this country with about £200, and he had never give up mindset. He started many businesses, tried and failed. And I remember he had his first business at like 47. Like he wants to get out of the rat race so much. He actually got his first business at 47. And so I grew up around that. Some things he was really strong at, but there's other things that I felt didn't work with him. There were some things that he could have done better. But he managed to build his business. He managed to get out of this sort of the lifestyle everyone else was living around him, which was follow the 9 to 5, get paid. Wealth wasn't really talked about, and wasn't attainable. Like, a lot of people think you can't get rich, like they really have that mindset that it's too hard to do or it's not for them. I do think that is an issue for a lot of people. It's just the mind. And so I went to study uni. I studied economics. I've always been interested in numbers. I think I do get it from my dad. I've always been interested in business. I've always been interested in numbers, finances. It's always been something that interested me. And I've always seen it as like so useful in everything else in life, like such a foundation for everything else. It's like your family, who you can network with, who you can help, what you can build. A lot of it starts with a significant part of it, or what helps a lot, is your finances and how well you're doing in that respect. And so I always put it a high priority to, I wanted to be wealthy. Like, that was something that I always wanted to be. And then came out of uni, didn't really know what I was going to do. And I started to go on the road of personal development and to think about money in more detail. Like, yes, my dad did well, but I thought there's people that make billions. There's people that make a lot of money, a lot of wealth, and also live happy lives, like really happy lives, have amazing marriages, helping beautiful causes. So for me, money wasn't this evil thing that some people think it was. I think it really is just something that emphasizes who you are anyway, and allows you to power up things that you believe in. So I went to this course called the Millionaire Mind Intensive, and it was like a 3-day course about money. And it was about how our beliefs from our parents influence how much money we make, and how different archetypes, like you might be a spender, a saver, an avoider, or someone that doesn't believe in money. There are people that don't think money is useful or valuable, or they think it shouldn't be shouldn't be there. Like money shouldn't exist. It should be a more utopian.
Let's go to the
sort
barter
of,
system.
yeah, like a different set of society, and how your parents, like a lot of these ingrained beliefs of like wealth is evil, or you're greedy, or you're selfish if you want to make all this money. All these things harbor your ability to make it. It really does. The mind is the key a lot of the time. The mind, when the mind goes, the body will follow. And if your mind is in a certain place, your body will start doing the things that you want to do to create that reality, to make that reality true. So I remember my family business wasn't doing too well, and that was like 2014, so about 6-7 years ago. So I took that over. It was a hotel, and I thought, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I tried to be an accountant, hated it. I hated the 9-to-5 lifestyle, wasn't for me. Tried to be a teacher because I thought, oh, that'll be a bit different. That will be a bit more dynamic, and get to be with people and I get to teach. But I realized I was forced to teach things I didn't believe in the school system. So it didn't work out for me either, because I always wanted to be free. That was my main thing in life. I always wanted to be free. I always wanted to be who I wanted to be, say what I wanted to say, and do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be boxed in any way. And so I took that over, and then at the time, it was my mom was helping me as well, and we turned that around and made it a good business, like a strong business in the hotel industry in Brighton, which is like the nearest seaside resort in the UK, and bought a second one, 2016, and yeah, I'm kind of mixing timelines because this was in 2016, but I did the course in 2017, end of 2016, 17, because even with business, right, I was like, you're still capped in some way. You're still capped by your number of sales. You're still capped by how much you can create from that platform, or, especially a physical business. It's like how many customers come in. I was like, that's still a cap. And I was like studying like who actually makes money and who actually makes money with freedom. And it was the people that invested, the people that did, really invest in things for a long-term basis, capitalized on compound interest, capitalized on all these things, were really patient in the game. I was studying Warren Buffett. I was studying all these books. I did the Millionaire Mind. I was trying to figure out the blueprint, really. And, there's similar things were said, like you have to be patient. You have to understand market cycles. You have to understand when to take profits. You have to, and you learn a lot along the way. Like you're not going to be master investor in one day. You're going to learn a long way. And I remember at this point, I started investing a bit in stocks.
This is 2018.
So this is about 2017. Because when I want to do something, I go for it. So it was about straight away I start to just try. So I was like, okay,
forget about dipping your toe in the pool. You just got to jump in.
Yeah, because you're gonna fail anyway. Like you're gonna screw it up. Like you will. I've screwed it up every time in the beginning, but then if you're persistent, you're gonna understand the game. So I started to do stocks and shares. I started to try like property partner, where you could fractionalize properties, invest in properties. I did all these things, and I thought, I was calculating how long it would take to make enough money for me to be like a millionaire. That was kind of the first main goal, right? And then I discovered Bitcoin and all this stuff. And this was like 2017. So this was like when it was pretty cheap. Ethereum was like $100. Bitcoin was like 3K, something like that. And I didn't believe it at first. I'm quite a skeptical person. So it takes me a bit of time before I'm really going to warm up to something new. Because I'm like, I look into it because people are talking about it around me. But I was like, just a Ponzi. Like, people just want to get rich quickly. And so I didn't really pay attention the first few times, but then it kept coming up. And then I was like, okay, let me try and get involved with this asset. And I watched the run up from Bitcoin was like, I think 1K to 20K. This is 2017. And I had some, but I lost all of it because I didn't take profits. I didn't know what I was doing. It ran all the way up to 20K. I thought, it's going to keep going up. I had no clue how market cycles work. I had no clue about, when the top is there, or when it's at each point where to take profits, or any of these things. But because that run happened, and because I saw opportunity that it will happen again. So after having that investment background, having money was coming from my business, I was like, okay, this is a way where I'm actually going to make real money. Like in not quickly, because I thought the cycles, I was watching the graphs and things at the time, the graphs were still, 4-year cycles. So it would take a while before I'd recoup that. But I believed in the product. I started to study cryptocurrency in detail, and I just knew it was going to be the future. I completely knew it. And there wasn't any doubt in my head that this is going to be a thing. And that's the key to investing, in my opinion. You have to predict the future. You cannot be in the present. If you want to be a strong investor, you have to predict the future. You have to take that risk. Otherwise, you're going to get some gains maybe, but not the real gains that you want to gain. So you have to be in the future.
Foresight.
That you have to have it. Yes, exactly. Which is why I'm in NFTs right now, but that's a whole different topic. But
we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah. And so I just invested in all Bitcoin. I got mentorship, and I believed in mentorship. I was looking at people that were successful in the industry, and I wanted to learn from them. So I paid for group courses, masterminds. I was just learning and soaking information, believing in the product, and just investing, putting as much money as I can. I was like, I'm young. This is time to take risks. You don't take as many risks when you're married and you got kids. You have people to depend on you. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a hit. I'm going to try and get there, And I was really confident. I was really thought, I just, something said, I'm going to make it. Like, this is going to be, if I'm patient enough, it's going to be just fine. And I remember I made my first million on my 30th birthday, not even a day before. Like, my portfolio was like 970 on like the day before my 30th birthday. And then on the 30th birthday, it hit a million, above a million I invested about, in total over a couple of years, about 100K. And I turned that to a million. And then on my 30th birthday, and it's always like your first million is the hardest, because I turned that into 2 in like 6 months after. So yeah. And then everyone started talking about crypto. It started to get mainstream. And so I was like, what's next? Like, I was like, okay, what's next? And then, because I always think there's innovation every 5 years. There's always something new. Like, you never miss the boat. I tell people always, because some people tell me, man, I miss crypto. I missed this and that. And I'm like, it's all about where your mindset is at the time. There's always opportunity. There's always another IPO. There's always a new thing coming. There's always money flowing in a different space. There's always innovation. There's like, what you don't know is the thing. Like, you don't even know what the next innovation is. It doesn't exist in your head anymore right now. Did you even know what NFT was 2 years ago? Did you even think it could exist? You didn't, right? No. It came out of nowhere and suddenly it exists. Before then, it didn't. And that's what I believe. There's always opportunity. Never have a scarcity mindset where I've missed X, Y boat. There's always a new boat, always.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned the scarcity mindset, because it circles back around to how you said, when people believe that that money is evil, it runs away from you. When you believe that that it's selfish to have money, it runs away from you. But if you believe that in abundance, once you believe in abundance, you attract that to you. Once you believe that you need money to do more good, it brings it more to you. So I want to ask you, what is your definition of wealth?
I think wealth for me is
no pressure.
It's not even pressure. I just want to make, I'm just thinking about it. It's a good question. For me, it's being as financially abundant as possible without compromising your values. That is a definition of wealth for me.
I'm gonna write that down. That's amazing. I love that. Being as financially comfortable as possible without compromising your values.
Yeah, because money isn't number one. That's not the truth. Like, being wealthy is not about money. It's about living your dream and allowing money to finance the dream that you have that is actually changing the world.
I love that.
But that's interesting, because like, so many people sacrifice their core belief of who they wanted to be or the value of who they wanted to become in sacrifice for money. So that's a very interesting perspective. I like that.
Yeah,
it's definitely a top wealthy perspective right there.
It might be.
Hey Matt, you have a question you want to ask Amit?
Yeah, so I guess going through, because one of the things about your story that you explained so far was, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he talks about the different quadrants, if you will, because it sounds like you went from running a business to just being an investor. So what was the one aha moment that made you kind of make that shift over? That you say, you know, I want to, this is it. This is where I want to go down the path. Like what that actual moment where you made that decision, because you said you were a very decisive person. So, but you also do your due diligence. So what was that moment in time that happened that made you switch over?
I mean, I still run the business now. It wasn't like a shift. It was kind of like at unison, but lockdown helped me a lot because I had time to not work on my business and actually invest a lot. And I was studying a lot because, you know, it was a blessing. I made more money in that year than I did in like 5 years of my business. So it was, it was a blessing in some ways to me. And I guess the moment was, I think, you know, in life you have to follow patterns, right? You follow what wins. And it's like, if you're always the operator and you're operating one business, you are a finite individual, right? You are finite, you have a limitation, you have a certain amount of capacity, you have a certain amount of hours. But if money works for you, it's unlimited, right? Because it's more energetic. It's more not like a physical one person thing. You can put it to work in a variety of ways. I see it as like a source, you know. So it's like, and I was watching, like, you know, Warren Buffett, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like everyone that is ever got really rich has invested money. It's just like, it's like if you're not investing money, I feel like you're completely capped in terms of how wealthy you can be. And if you are investing money, you're not capped at all. So it was really just logical deduction, you know. It's like what actually works, right? You have a business, you're making money, that's great. Maybe you can expand it, maybe you can build on it, maybe you can hire more employees, maybe you can have more locations. But what would be also locationless, giving you complete freedom and also making you a lot of money at the same time, is you have to have an investment portfolio. So it was really just being honest with myself of what goals do I have and what is the fastest achievable way to do it. And I was like, okay, the business way is like, you got to raise money, you got to get a mortgage. How many years is it going to take to expand, right? For me, for where I was like, I didn't want to do some sort of hotel monopoly. It wasn't my passion, but how I can, you know, if I 10-20x over 5 years, how much money is possible to make, how much passive income you can make. It just made sense to me.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
So with you mentioning money being omnipresent, you know, not having just one physical location, but being able to be everywhere at the same time. I know you mentioned something about the source, and what has been your source of inspiration, and why do you feel that you draw your inspiration from that source?
I'll say my inspiration is like, honestly, one of the biggest one is that we live life once. It's such a big thing. It's like we do this thing one time, like as this person. I don't know what happens after, for like completely, like who knows. But you know, I like what I can say now is that if you're not going to give it your best shot today, it's like I get more urgent. I think that the older I get, the more I get like more convicted about my time, because I'm like, there's so much potential in the world. Like there's so much. Like I look at people like Gary Vee or Tony Robbins or other people, and I'm like, they've done so much, and I could do so much if I really applied myself. And so that my inspiration is other people, is definitely my inspiration, and the fact that I think everything is possible, and I think, and the fact that if we have this shot, we have to do it properly and give our best that we can, and aim high, aim really high. Like I feel like as a man, we have to. The point of being a man for me is like you bear the biggest burden you can bear. Like you give the most you can give to the world. Like whatever you think you can give, you give it, and that's our purpose, right? That's what we're doing this for. That's why we're doing this podcast, is to share and to give, right? And so, and that fills you up more than anything else. So,
sure,
that's really what motivates me. And what was the second question you said?
Why? I feel like you might have touched on it a little bit already, but please go ahead if you feel so inclined.
Like why?
You said so you're motivated by other people, and the way that I interpreted that is, if they can do this, why can't I? If this is possible, what else is possible? You know, and one of my favorite quotes, which I love how you mentioned just bearing as much responsibility as possible, setting your Mount Everest. That's how I like to look at it. What is your Mount Everest? Aim as high as possible. So setting that Mount Everest, I always related to, we all know Spider-Man. We've all heard of Spider-Man, and we all know the very famous quote from Spider-Man: with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yes.
The opposite is also true. Once you bear great responsibility, you will be endowed with great power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So I want to lead this off into getting into the thick of cryptocurrencies and Web3, because it's a very exciting topic. And I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with it just because it's so unknown, right? So let's ease into it with what cryptocurrencies do you think have major potential short-term and long-term?
Okay, so the obvious for me, look, I had Bitcoin before, but I just don't think Bitcoin's the one if you're a real investor anymore. I think even if Bitcoin goes to 150K or whatever, it's a 3x. It's not huge anymore. And I'm not really a guy that I'm not going for 3x. I'm here to make 10, 20x, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin's a safe bet. If your risk tolerance is low, get some Bitcoin. Number one has to be Ethereum. Ethereum is the most lowest risk for profit ratio in the game. And so stacking Ethereum is a really good bet. I mean, I think for me, Ethereum 10K is programmed. I don't know when. I'm not like that much a mystic. I can't predict these things, but it's going there. And Ethereum is going to do that. A lot of people are using Ethereum. It's just got the main first movers advantage, and the NFT chain is completely popping. Like big brands are now building on Ethereum. The ETH 2.0 is coming out, which also adds a burning mechanism. So Ethereum's going to be more scarce. So Ethereum's a great bet in crypto. Solana, I love Solana. It's probably my favorite chain right now because it just does what Ethereum does but better. Deep down, it's better tech, but it's just not as the first mover, and so everyone's flocking to Ethereum. But you're paying $20 gas fees to do anything on Ethereum, and on Solana you're paying 1p, and this allows staking contracts to happen. It's how I make a lot of passive income. I make about 70 grand a month passive income for NFTs, and I could never do that on ETH.
On July 16th, Kangaroo Heroes is presenting the Business Mastermind Group. This has been a long-awaited event for the last 6 months, and at Wealthy Perspectives, we're sending one of our lucky subscribers to the Business Mastermind. They're going to be talking about business management, taxes, Google and Facebook ads. You won't want to miss this. The floor for this event is at $400 for one of the NFTs. So all you have to do is hit subscribe, engage, drop comments, and show your presence in our YouTube channel, and you might be one of the lucky winners. I saw you posted that on Twitter, and I was very curious. Do you mind sharing some info on what you're putting up and how that staking works?
Yeah, so obviously, like you stake a crypto and you get coins, you can do stake NFTs, and so NFTs can also be attached to tokens too. So, for example, shadowy supercoders on Solana, Tire Robotics, sea shanties. These are basically,
just to clarify for the audience, these are what you just listed. Those are NFTs that are
those are NFTs attached to attached stakeable NFTs, right? And you cannot do this easily on ETH. That's why a lot of people bridge to Polygon, because the gas fees are a lot cheaper on Polygon. Polygon is a layer 2, which builds upon ETH to make gas fees a lot smoother and a lot less. Because if every time I'm taking out money from a staking contract, I'm paying $20, my money's going down the drain, right? So, but Solana, there's 1p, your staking contract can be built seamlessly with very little transaction fees. So, for example, let me give an example. So, for example, shadowy supercoders or Tire Robotics. So they're gamified versions of NFTs that are building out on the platform.
Okay.
And within their ecosystem, they use a token that is used in the ecosystem. So shadowy supercode is storage, for example. So to pay for storage, use the shadow token. And if you hold the shadow token, if more people are using storage, token goes up. And they have an NFT that actually holds 13,000 tokens attached to it. So if you hold that NFT, you are now getting 13,000 of tokens. The token is at the moment like it was $2 the other day, so it's like $26,000, right, for one of these NFTs, right? So if you have 10, that's 250 grand, right, potentially.
So
and
what's one of these NFTs cost?
Cost a lot, right? I got it early, right? I got it when it was like 5,000, $5,000. You know, I got it really early. A lot of these things. Now it's about 150. People have caught on to what's happening on Solana. That's why I like to be early, man. That's why when everyone's on ETH, I'm on Solana. If everyone's on Solana, I'm on Near. If everyone's like, I'm there when before, because ETH just went on Solana. Solana just went on ETH as well, and so people are going to go into Solana now. And I'm going to the Near protocol because a lot of money is flowing there. It's like I'm there when everyone else isn't there. This is the game. Mm-hmm. So if you're where everyone else is, you're missing opportunity somewhere else. You really are. You got to look where, as an investor, you look where the greatest upside is, not where everyone is. It's a different conversation. If everyone is on ETH, a lot of money's already flown to ETH, like Bitcoin. A lot of money has flown to Bitcoin. So you're thinking, what can go next? What's the second biggest NFT group? Solana is the second biggest. Maybe I can catch some money there. Now Solana is pumping really big. One of the biggest NFT collections now is Solana. And I think VCon, a lot of people will be talking about Solana actually, and trying to understand Solana, because the passive income is completely different. It's a completely different game on Solana. Ethereum is
just a little early. I'm sorry to cut you off. How long did it take from when you purchased, what was it called, that 5K?
The shadowy supercoders.
All right. When you purchased that 5K, how long did it take for it to go from 5K to 150?
Well, 5K to 15, right? I mean, they're about 5K is what, 50 SOL and 550. But over the year, just the staking contract's a yearly distribution of tokens.
Okay.
So over a year, you get like 26,000, whatever the token is. I think the token could be $10 at some point. That's like 260 grand from that NFT, you know? Serious stuff. If you go into this, it's serious stuff. If you know your stuff, it's serious stuff. And but I remember when I bought it at 50, I thought I was late, to be honest, because I'm a skeptic. I'm not the guy that mints often. I'm the guy that gets in the middle, but still early enough. And so it took about, it went 50 to 150 in a week. I actually flipped it 3 times in a week. Then the IDO came out, the token kind of crashed, the whole market kind of crashed. It went down, down, down. And then now they're releasing the product, tokens going back up. So I don't think the time isn't the most important thing, because time is a bit arbitrary. Like, it could have been a month, it could have been next year. I'm not here for quick gains. I'm not here to flip money for months. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't believe in quick money. I'm waiting for it to get to, maybe if it gets to $50 in 5 years and I've got 130,000 tokens, that's about nearly 5 million, So that's the game I'm trying to play.
So you don't flip NFTs, or do you?
I do if there's an opportunity, right? But it's not I'm looking for long holds. I'm looking for things I believe in that are going to give me passive income for a bunch of years, or I believe are going to give me multiple airdrops after years. I'm looking at strong, like most NFTs are going to die. We know this, right? 99% of NFTs are just rubbish, like not good, not useful. So rather you pick the 1% that are a bit more expensive, that you can hold for a long, long time, and you can follow that ecosystem, get the airdrops, Solana, get the staking, and build upon that. So, and I think the earlier you get into NFTs, the earlier you get all the airdrops, and the earlier you get all the money that you invested back. I bought 2 mutant apes for about 60 grand. I got 60 grand of ape coin back from that.
Hey,
so they're free. So they were free. Now I get baked land, more money. Then I get the dogs, and I get, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, backing good horses, you can make a lot of money.
I love that. Wow, man, that's a lot. That's a lot of information to take in. And I just want to give a quick disclaimer. We like to keep a light-hearted atmosphere and just really just enjoy the process while we're podcasting, because it can get real heavy when you're speaking, when you're just dropping gems. So I just want everyone to know that you can rewind, and I encourage everyone to rewind and just listen back and really just try to pick up key hints, take notes. And there's a lot of gems that Amit is sharing with us. And I just want to say thank you for being with us again, Amit. Matt, you have anything you'd like to drop on Amit?
Well, yeah. One of the interesting things that I like, kind of, when I was listening, is that being late to the party. It's essentially what you were saying, right? Is that so many people, like, they jump on the trends when it's like too late. So, do you have a specific process that you go through, or is it just looking at the opportunity and digesting it individually, or do you have like a specific things that you look for when you're analyzing an NFT to purchase or something along those lines?
So this is where experience can't be faked, right? This is where time in the game is something that you can't just have. This is like, you know, when you become a black belt in jiu-jitsu or become someone that has a blue belt or a purple belt, it's like something that you earn, right? You earn the art of, because you have to understand the macro level to be early on a lower level. Like if I didn't know crypto, I wouldn't know anything about Solana, right? If I was just jumping on Ethereum NFTs, I'd have no clue what Solana is or what Solana does. But I had 5 years of crypto, right? So I watched the whole crypto industry in detail. So I could see every chain, I could see every subset, I could see everything. I was like, everything I was studying allowed me to be better NFT investor, because I could say, okay, Ethereum is a big chain, but now I see Solana coming up. What's happening in Solana? I could see like what
the trends are.
Yes, to be a good investor, you have to have the macro to get the micro. So you have to know the game on a whole, like what's working in layer ones, what's working in the gaming universe, what's working in DeFi, what isn't, what is a unique thing that isn't there yet. Like Shadow, which is what I talked about, the Shadow supercoders, is building storage on Solana, which doesn't really exist too well at the moment. It works well, Filecoin or Airweave on Ethereum, and all these things, what I'm saying might not make sense to you if you don't know the game, right? I might be just saying buzzwords, right? It's because I studied the game for a long time. It allows me to have a good perspective of the micro, knowing the macro.
Yeah. So I guess what would you
organize?
What would you say?
Sorry, Matt.
What would you say? Like, let's say, you know, first person, you know, never heard you before, and they want to get into it, and they want to go through that process of learning how to identify those opportunities. Where would you suggest that they start?
Get a mentor.
Get a mentor.
Simple stuff. Get a mentor. If you want to learn the game, get someone that knows the game to teach you one-on-one. I teach like 6-7 people right now, and I look at the game. It's so much harder than it was back when I started, because there's so much more cryptocurrency, there's so much more going on, and it would like, I'm just being real. It's like me like coming in the game now, and you have no financial knowledge, you have no crypto knowledge, you have nothing. You are rolling a dice in there, and if you don't have someone that is like, if I was to, like, for example, if I was to teach you Solana, like if you were to go to Solana on your own and you were to have a look at all the thousands of NFTs, it would be a tough job. But if someone like me said, look, do this, go to this store, Discord, check out this token's on the low, this one's on the high, invest here, arbitrage here, etc., etc. It's like, it's worth, like, you know, it's worth paying. I've made, like, one of my clients made like 5K. He paid me less than that to coach me. Like, I'm not even trying to show my coaching. I'm really not. But
please
what I'm saying, no, what I'm saying is the truth, though. This, like, you know, this is the truth. It's like, you pick the guy that's doing its brains and run with it. Like, this is the way to fast track any skill, not just this one. But if you want to learn how to box, you get the best trainer and he trains you one-on-one. If you want to learn fast, right? You can learn slow and try and figure it out yourself. That's fine. And I think that's really hard to do. But, you know, for me, if I was in the mastermind of learning crypto, I wouldn't know what I was doing. Like, I was a complete newbie. When I came into NFT space, I bought like 10 rubbish NFTs for like $5,000, went like completely crashed, didn't do nothing. I thought I knew what I was doing. But then I started to learn the game, and I literally did what Gary Vee says. I put like 100 hours in and just start studying. But I feel like people like Gary Vee, or, you know, even myself, had the financial background before. So if you're coming in fresh, it's a lot harder, you know?
Yeah.
I want to touch on studying. Studying is something that we hear throughout everywhere we go, and mentorship as well. But I definitely want to touch on studying. What are some resources that you would be able to share that people can go on and, you know, build up their knowledge base, put in those 100 hours?
My podcast is good, the Fierce Profit podcast.
Let's go.
I talk a lot about how I make passive income on different NFTs. I talk about different ways of managing your finances. I talk about different things, and my DMs are open if anyone wants to talk to me. Then I would listen to Gary Vee. Honestly, like I feel like he's helped me a lot. I have to pay homage to that guy, man. Like without him, I think I would have been a lot further behind in NFT space. And I think a lot of people can speak for that. But listen to his podcast. Then you have to be in the Discords. You have to be on Twitter. Twitter and Discord is way better than YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. If you want a legit information, if you want the serious dudes that are really killing it, they're on Twitter and they're on Discord. They're in the Discord chats. First you'll start off like wondering where, but then you start off like Bored Ape Yacht Club. You try and get there, see what the general chat is saying. Then you might go to a different place. Start off with the blue chips, Discords. And people will ask questions, be like, hey, I'm just starting off with Ethereum, like Solana. Can you point me in the direction to the best projects that you think right now? Someone might tell you, and then you start to see patterns. Like, don't rush and buy. Do at least, a week, 2 weeks research. Find out what the patterns are. Find out what most people are talking about. See who know that, because there'll be certain people that will talk in the Discord which are really good, and there'll be people that are just like degenerate gamblers. So you will start to see who's actually good by the way they talk, what they talk about, how they show up in the Discords. Then gravitate towards them, ask them questions. They might guide you to an alpha chat somewhere where, groups of kind of whales are in that chat. Then you start getting the real information, right? And then you're starting to get the drop before the drop. So start with podcasts. You have to have Twitter. I think you have to have Twitter, and you have to have Discord, and you have to start chatting, and you have to take it seriously. The NFT game is harder than crypto. If you want to make money in NFTs, it's like a job. You're going to have to put a couple of hours a day. And I'm being serious. If you want the real money, crypto is more tokenized, which means you can sit and forget and kind of profit take at the right times. But NFTs, there's whitelists, there's drops you won't get if you're not there. There's times you have to be online. There's times you have to be offline. Many things are going on at the same time. And it depends how much you want it, how bad you want it. But NFT is not easy game or easy money. If you think it is, then you will learn the lesson quickly. It's a game you have to be on point with.
Oh yeah, I see it. And I appreciate how clear you make it on the difference between crypto and NFTs, because it is very new technology, but people often just categorize both of them together. So being able to differentiate how crypto, you can tokenize and just like leave it as it is and just forget about it. And that's probably some of the best thing that you can do with crypto: buy when it's slow and just buy when it's slow and just forget about it. And then keep doing your education. Whereas NFTs, you really have to stay organized. So that leads me to what tools do you use to stay organized?
Honestly, it's just I do a lot of notes. Like I write on my like reminders or on my notes, I write like everything I've bought, and then I write profit taking, when I'm going to take profits, how many I'm going to take profits, and I stick to that normally. Pretty solidly, I stick to my profit taking strategies. Maybe I'll deviate if it's really gone on some next bull run and I'm like, it's gone way past. Then I'll just calendar every date. So I just put like mint is here, airdrop here, whitelist giveaway here. And at the same time, I'm like more and more involved in Web3, like as things go on, in the teams, especially on Solana. I'm starting to be kind of on the inside and working with different people to organize, advise, or bring partnerships together. So for me, it's really making detailed notes, like spreadsheets, making things on paper. Make sure you put where you bought everything. Like I bought at this price, I bought 4 at this price, and where you want to take profits. Because sometimes people get lost in the art or lost in utility instead of understanding you're here to make money. Like be clear of what you're here in NFTs. If you're an art collector, you're an art collector. If you're an investor, you're an investor. If you're here just to enjoy your brand, enjoy the brand. But I'm an investor first, a networker second, and an art collector third. So and everyone should figure out where they are on that scale. Like if you want to art collect, then not really here for the money so much. You're here just to enjoy it, have fun with it. That's fine. I'm here because I feel like NFTs are networking on steroids. I love to network. I love to meet people that push me and grow me. I wouldn't be here without the NFT, right? I wouldn't be in this conversation without having a kangaroo hero. And there's so many people I've met through Discords, chatting, through Teams, that I never would have met without having one of the NFTs. So, but I'm an investor first. I'm here to make money. So that's clear. I'm not emotionally attached to any of these things. At the end of the day, I'm here to make a profit.
Love it. Priorities. Got to set those priorities. Got to be realistic. Gems on gems. I love this. This is great. I definitely do want to ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Best case scenario, always.
At least 50 million net worth. Like, that's gonna happen, guaranteed. I would love to just be keep coaching people in a group, like more group coaching, having my own NFT collection, coaching, because I'm so passionate. You probably can see. I'm so passionate about this, man. I'm just like, I love this space. I love how much money people can make, and I love how you can bring community together with it. I just think it's amazing. I just think the NFTs are really changing the world for the better. You know, it's really making people have so much opportunity to make money with their passions and their dreams. Like, anything can make money now in NFTs. If you're an artist, you get royalties for life. If you're a photographer, if you're a dancer, you can NFT your collection. You can do many things with this. So I think it's, you know, I think that this is such a great part of human evolution. I really don't downplay it, that this is evolving people to be on purpose more and more, and being able to make financial success on it. And so, yeah, I'd love to just help onboard as many people as I can on this whole thing, and teach them how to make real money and be financially abundant. I think a lot of people want that, and there's an opportunity right here. And I don't think it ends here. You know, I think there's always going to be an opportunity next. And I just, you know, I'm really passionate about financial wealth. Like, I am, you know, straight up, that I really want to, that's really something that I think I'm good at, and something I've taught a lot of people around, and it's something that I want to teach about. So those two things are just probably the most important things. And I would love to get married and all these other things too, but you know, that's a whole separate conversation. But yeah, I'm really excited about where this is all going.
I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice. I can hear it in the way that you break things down, and the passion is just bubbling and oozing through the screen. And I love it. You know, I think I'm very glad that we got to chop it up. I'm very glad that we met, and that we have you here on the podcast today. Matt, any remarks you'd like to wrap it up with?
No, man, it's been a pleasure overall. So thank you for taking the time to hop on. I definitely got some value out of it for sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Amit, any last remarks you'd like to close us off with? Drop your info. Where can people find you? And your podcast, all that, you know, we'll post it. But besides that.
Yeah, for me, I feel like if you're on the sidelines of NFTs, like, know this is like such a big global movement that you're gonna be involved in at some point. And so I'll say, just get involved, like, be in this bubble, be in this spot, because so much can come out of it, not just financially, but people wise, human wise. Like, you know, crypto is very much charts and numbers. This is bigger than that. This is people, and this is community, and this is changing the world. It's a different thing. So this is why I'm a lot, like, crypto was great and I love that, but this is just blown me away, you know, this whole industry, this Web3. So you can find, that's my closing remarks for everyone that's listening. And you can find me at Amit Dhun on Instagram. I'm mostly on Twitter now, at Amit Dhun _. I've got the Fierce Profit podcast, do a lot of solo episodes about this topic mostly at the moment, something I'm passionate about right now, but other topics too. And yeah, if you listen to this and you want to DM me about something, then feel free.
One more thing. Would you do us the major honor of maybe offering our listeners some kind of discount on your coaching or anything that you do offer?
So my coaching is more like one-on-one. So it's not like a group package or anything like that. Okay. I don't know if I can say I'll give a discount, but I can look after anyone that wants to work with me. Then I'll look after them. And feel free to DM me if you're interested. I'm pretty full at the moment, to be honest.
Okay.
But If you are interested, do let me know, because spaces will come up at some point. If you want to work with me, if you feel like I'm the right person, then yeah, that would be great.
I'm massively thankful to have you here. This has been amazing in every sense of the word. Wealthy Perspectives. I think this has been one of our top interviews for the simple fact that you are so passionate about wealth. You're very passionate about sharing. And that's one thing that we love here is togetherness. We have one of the Wealthy Evolutions proverbs is Ubuntu, which means I am because you are. I couldn't be who I am if you aren't who you are. So I'll wrap it up with that.
Amazing. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure's been all ours. Thank you. I look forward to tapping in again and continue to build.
Definitely.
All right. Hey, we got to talk about BCon soon. This is after the cut. This is gonna get cut out.
Yeah, it's after the cut. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. How was that, guys?
No, I thought that was great. I thought overall it was pretty good, man. Definitely, I thought it was great. Yeah.
I'm bubbling, man. I'm buzzing. But this whole thing.
I feel it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, please, Matt.
No, I mean, because I haven't really delved into like the NFT space. So just listening to this is like, it makes me want to like just jump into it. You know what I mean? Like, because I haven't really gotten there yet. So I just haven't, So
I love that, man. If you have any questions, DM me, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. I'm gonna look into it. And I'm glad because I mean, looking at it, like, and that's the thing. Like, but one of the things that I got out of it, which I really like actually enjoyed, is that you defined like steps in who you are, right? Like you're the investor first, then you network, and then it's the artwork, because a lot of people just look at the artwork and think like, yeah, that's just it. But there's like levels to it, and I do like the fact that you can network with it, right? Like, and you can connect with people just because you have a similar NFT. So I that part I really like, and I think I'm leaving connections on the table, if you will, by not having it and not being a part of these specific groups. So it's definitely something that I have to look into a little more deeply.
Yeah, especially if you align with the founder, man. If you align with the founder, you're probably going to align with the people that are around the founder. It's one of the reasons that I joined Kangaroo Heroes as well. With Kangaroo Heroes, I know I'm playing the long game. I know Donnell's vision is the long game, and I'm not here to make quick flips or anything like that. I understand this, right? It's a different type of thing. But the founder makes everything, right? You follow the founder. Like Elon Musk Tesla's so successful because Elon Musk is the personal brand, right? And you follow him because you respect him, or you respect his genius or who he is. And so, in terms of networking, go to the NFT collection that you might resonate with and that have a great, community. And you never know what can unfold, my man. Like I might be going VCon with this guy down here, and that might never have happened if we didn't have a hero, if I never had a Midas, all these things that God kind of aligned, but it was all about saying yes. And I'm not just saying to you to jump in, because I don't think you're that type of guy to take things lightly. I think you're a solid thinker and you're going to take things seriously. But there is a lot of networking that there's on the table, as well as the investing side. And I think some of that has been so special to me, even more than the money, just to vibe. Because how I feel in this space right now is that the energy is there, like if we're hungry right now, like you can feel it and I can feel it. It's like that stuff brings momentum to your life. It brings more good things to your life. If you're surrounded by people, like if we're surrounded by each other, right, how many things we could build together, you never know, right? And so there's a lot of abundance from being around the right people.
That's one of my key words for this year, getting myself in the right rooms. And
have to.
The only reason we're having this conversation is because Don dropped that project, and I was like, I love Don so much, and I've been looking forward to getting some one-on-one time with him for years, since I was a college student that didn't have his priorities straight. I hadn't come into my purpose. I always loved connecting with people, but I wasn't clear on, I didn't have that clarity and that foresight on where I wanted to go. So after graduation, I started tapping in with Don even more. And the fact that he dropped this project, I had heard NFTs from Gary Vee over and over again, but stepping into fatherhood, stepping into moving away from home, stepping into becoming a business owner. It was like just one thing after it was all at the same time, all these new things. And I just didn't have the mental capacity to really just focus on NFTs.
Of course.
And Don dropping it, I was like, all right, if I miss this, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And I jumped on, I won the first Midas, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I feel like, yeah, that you're probably happier than ever that you're part of this, right? And that was all that one yes, right, that you decided to come in. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, there's so much potential from everything. So yeah, excited with all this. And I think VCon's gonna be dope. I think VCon's gonna be epic, man. I just feel it. I feel it, bro. I feel like I'm gonna be in my element.
You stand in the middle of the place, like,
yeah, literally. I'm like, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get like what we like. Let's do this. Like, this is gonna be amazing. I seen all the guests and the lineup looks incredible, and yeah, man, like all these things that NFTs is allowing me to get involved in. I think 8 Fest, I think it's gonna be incredible in New York. It's like boom, like all these things that they can be part of. Like how many people, like the people you can network with, in all these places as well. It's going to be a certain type. There's certain things where you can only go if you have a certain NFT. It's like it does induct you into certain places that you can't get into. It's not just a financial mechanism.
Access.
And I believe the people you're around is going to be more instrumental than actually how much money you're making today. Because one conversation can make you 100 grand with the right person. Seriously, I've had like one guy that is making like millions, and he'll give me one alpha call or whatever, and I'm in the right chat at the right time, and I'm making like 100K with that. As one guy that knows what he's doing tells you one thing, do this at this the right time, and you're making like that. And that's just the people. It's a network.
I wish I would have had some alpha on Moonbirds, man. I found out after the fact. And Moonbirds, just to give Matt some background, Moonbirds minted for 2.5 ETH.
Yeah.
And Matt, that's about like 9K. They're flipping for they're the fastest growing volume traded project. They have over 1,000 ETH, I'm pretty sure, traded in just about 2 weeks.
They got more than they traded more than VFriends in like 3 days than VFriends all time.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so they're flipping for like 500K, 600K. That's 9,000 into a massive life-changing flip. So yeah, don't sleep.
One of my guys was in Proof, yeah, but I didn't know him until like 2 months ago, and he's in Proof Collective, right? So that's like 130 ETH to be in Proof. And Proof got 2 Moonbirds for free. So everyone in Proof Collective got 2 Moonbirds for free, right?
Wow.
There was the public sale, and then there was the Proof Collective, which is why Proof Collective flipped bake for a little bit. It was 130 ETH because people got 2 Moonbirds. And he bought these Proof Collective parts for like 2.5 ETH in December. And now he sold his Moonbirds and this Proof for like 220 ETH like 2 days ago.
That's almost $1 million.
Almost $1 million, right? And now he's using that money to start his own project. So yeah.
I was in a space with Zach the other day, and Zach is the founder of Proof, right? So
that's Kevin Rose, isn't it?
Kevin.
Yeah.
He's talking about bumping Discord to the side and really? Working on he's talking about he doesn't like Discord. He's like, it's behind, it's lacking, it's the Blockbuster to the Netflix, and then Netflix is also falling off now. So he's like, he's just thinking of massive ways to innovate, to be able to, click a picture and be like, oh, this is how many NFTs this person owns and what they're doing and, what projects they're a part of, because Discord is the foundation, but they're not really innovating. Discord isn't really innovating much at all. So he's seeing that opportunity, and I heard that he's going to move on it.
I mean, I'm always open to whatever's news. There's always things that are going to, come after something. So that's interesting. Right now it's Discord. Maybe this new thing that he's going to create is going to be the next thing for people getting the right information around this stuff.
This was last night at like 12. It was like 12 right after I found out that, I'm going to be getting into VF2, by the way. I got a mint spot
I'm into VF too.
Hey, let's go. So we're showing up to VCon with some V friends and some kangaroos and a bunch of other stuff. That's exciting.
Yeah, I got book games, so I managed to get a whitelist for it for V Friends
Okay,
for
let's go.
my book games. So yeah, uh, that was cool.
All right. Well, we won't take up any more of your time. Matt, Amit, this has been awesome. And I'll let you know when it's probably going to be debuting sometime in July, just because we have about 2 months of
That's cool.
interviews already lined up.
That's blessed, man. So VCon, what's the dress code?
Whatever, bro. I'm dressing
No,
down
you're
one
gonna be
day.
suited, so I'm gonna be lacking while you're doing your thing, you know. So
One day I'm dressing comfortably. For the other 3 days, I'm dressing very nicely for one day. And that I don't really know which day it's gonna be, because VCon lands on my birthday. So I don't know if I want to be comfortable
jeez, so
on my
birthday
birthday.
on VCon as well.
Yeah, that
Wow,
was the confirmation for me, man. Because
that's
I knew
dope.
I knew I was gonna work my ass off to go to VCon and to go representing the Kindred Kangaroo. And then I found out that VCon landed on my birthday. My birthday is May 20th, and it's the 19th to the 22nd. So I was like, all right, man, like this is a perfect divine timing.
That is, man. I feel like it's totally aligned for you, and yeah, I want to be there definitely.
Hey, let's tap in like once a week or something, or like twice a week to prepare, because I'm not where you're at as far as knowing about the space, and I definitely want to have as much leveled conversation as possible. I want to be able to really connect with as many people as possible, and I have a lot of homework to do before then. So
Yeah, yeah, and if we're rooming in together, I'm gonna give you some juicy alpha, man.
let's go.
I'm going to teach you all about Solana, and I'll teach you about the whole game as much as I can in those
Let's
4
go.
days.
I'm here for it. I love learning. It's my number one passion. I love soaking in information and connecting, and being able to do that with you. Very special moments, very legendary moments are happening, and I'm massively grateful. I love life right now, man. I mean, I've always loved life, but Amor Fati is another one of the proverbs that is into Wealthy Evolutions. Amor Fati translates to love your fate, loving the good, the bad, the ugly, every single part of it. And I'm in a part of life right now where I've read about romanticizing life about 2 years ago. And I kind of became obsessed with being a romantic and just romanticizing all the aspects of life, the good, the bad, the ugly. But right now I'm just very, very filled and bubbly. That would be a perfect word for it.
I feel the same way. It's like I know it's the song. I can't remember the song, but it's like now you're in the good part. If that makes sense. Like you're in the struggle part. Like you struggled, like you do your thing. It's like now you're in that momentum part. Like now it unfolds like quick. Like now it just happens for you. Like yeah, I feel in a very good place as well. Like I'm just you're super excited about life. Like you're enjoying every moment. You're doing what you love. You're helping what you want to help. It's like you're in the pocket. You're in that sweet spot that I think that what all genius comes from.
State of flow. That's
Yeah.
I've heard of it translated into being in that state of flow where you're very present. You're not in the past. You're not in the future. And as much as you're planning for the future and analyzing the past, you're very present in that state of flow. And it's funny you mentioned how good can it get, because it's actually my background on my phone. It says, I'm open, God, show me how good it can get. And right now I'm in that part where I'm seeing how good it can get. And I know there's higher highs. I know there's a high than Mount Everest, and it just keeps on getting better.
100%, brother. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for this chat. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys. I hope to connect with you guys more down the road.